Hello folks, and welcome to this, the July 31st, 2016 edition of Decision 2016 Digest, the channel where we bring you the top election, politics, and policy headlines in 15 minutes or less. Another editorial installment recapping the highlights and lowlights of the Democratic National Convention last week in Philadelphia. Again, we're trying out some upgrades to the channel, including different set configurations to keep it fresh for you. This is our second setup beyond the original. If you see something you like, or don't like, for that matter, please let me know in the comments below. Let's get to it. As you know, last week we reported our take on the Republican National Convention, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our report on the Democrat gathering will be no different because, as we like to say here, we are equal opportunity offenders. I will sum up my take on the Dem convention this way. It was historic, it was hateful, it was divisive, largely artificial, and painted an alternative universe portraying a vibrant American experience despite recent polls showing nearly 70% of Americans believe our country is going in the wrong direction. From a historic perspective, no one can deny Hillary Clinton's achievement of being the first woman nominated by a major political party in U.S. history. She deserves recognition for this achievement, but in typical Clinton fashion, there's always an asterisk, if not a cloud over said achievement. You know, liberals and compliant never-Trumpers are prone to portray the GOP convention as divided or chaotic. But oh my God, one day before the gavel falls on the opening of the Democrats' convention in Philly, a huge slew of hacked emails dropped by WikiLeaks, we believe, showing the DNC plotted against Bernie Sanders in favor of Clinton and tried to rig the election, the primary election, in her favor. Drama unfolded, resulting in DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz having to resign right then and there before the convention started and leave the convention site. The election rigging disclosure rightfully enraged Bernie Sanders supporters, causing derision and protests both inside and outside of the convention. And the GOP gathering was chaos? Good grief. Insults between the Clinton and Sanders factions dominated the first 2 days, with the liberal media trying their best to hide it from all of its viewers. But the divisiveness of it all was pretty obvious, even with Bernie Sanders folding and giving in to Clinton's uncontested nomination. To the trained eye, the artificial elements were obvious, some even obvious to those who don't keep up with it all the way we do. Look at the tape. During the first 2 days, there was not a sign of an American flag or any symbol of patriotism to be found in the Democrats' convention hall. Guess what, folks? The Democrats were conducting real-time focus groups, and viewers started questioning this by Thursday's convention climax. Operatives responded to the criticism and hauled in truckloads of American flags and changed screen graphics to reflect the good old red, white, and blue. You know, to me it was just all so fake and focus grouped. More on the artificial front, Mrs. Clinton in her speech promised something for everyone on the government dole with no real way to pay for it all. Moreover, she has lifted many of Donald Trump's positions on job growth, blue-collar workers, and trade deals. It is just breathtaking, and her friends in the mainstream media say nothing. The DNC was criticized for having the founding mothers, as it were, of Black Lives Matter play a prominent police violence victim role during the convention, but had no one representing fallen officers of the recent ambush attacks on police. Miraculously, easy for me to say, at the last minute they scrambled and got a Dallas sheriff to speak on it. It was just all so contrived and fake to me. One of the most powerful moments of the convention was a speech by Mr. Khizr Khan, a Muslim attorney whose son died for our country 12 years ago. He angrily denounced Donald Trump singling out Muslims for immigration scrutiny. He railed at Trump, accusing him of never reading the Constitution, waving his copy at TV cameras, and make no mistake, Mr. Khan's son should be honored for his service and sacrifice and the loss the Khan family feels. But call me cynical when you consider, for all of Mr. Khan's angry rhetoric, he has never met Donald Trump and knows nothing about Donald Trump's reading of the Constitution. Further, where's the line wherein you exploit your own son's heroic death and make it a political tool or a talking point? I suggest it's a very fine line. I want to go off script here for just a second. You know, I asked this question on my Saturday radio show, The Gang of 405 out of Los Angeles, and maybe you can answer it for me. And if you can, put it in the comments below. What in the hell is this affinity of President Obama and by extension the progressive left with the Islamic faith and wanting to flood this country with immigrants of the Islamic faith? I have never understood it. For 7.5 years, the president has lectured us about tolerance and not being xenophobes against the Islamic faith or people of the Islamic faith, and there just seems to be this constant grind of Christians are bad and Islamic folks and immigrants should be welcomed with open arms here. What is going on with that? I have never seen that in my lifetime, and I do not understand why the liberal left is intent on flooding our country with folks of the Islamic faith. If you can answer that question for me, please put it in the description below. We move on. And finally, the apparent alternative universe I heard described throughout the convention, and specifically in Mrs. Clinton's acceptance speech. The economy is great, the clear absence of any major national security concerns, and she will create jobs with more shovel-ready infrastructure spending through another stimulus in the face of what will soon be a $21 trillion debt that this country owes. You know, the Dems' connections to Hollywood and the entertainment industry always make for a well-produced convention. And as much as one may enjoy hearing Meryl Streep scream at the podium and Sheila E. beat the drums, I sense many Americans would like to hear some real solutions to real problems. These were non-existent in my view. What I heard is Obama's 8 years has been a roaring success. The economy is great. 15 million new jobs have been created. Trump is not politically correct, therefore he's a hater or a bigot or worse, and you should be as smart as we are to realize just how good you have it in our alternative universe. You know, where I come from here in Texas, we have a saying, don't pee on my boots and try to convince me it's raining. That sums up the Democratic National Convention for me. Stop peeing on my boots, Democrats. That's my report on the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, and I appreciate you watching. If you like what we're doing here, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It lets me know you appreciate the effort we're making here to keep you informed during this important election. A special deal just for our viewers: if you like listening to books instead of reading them, hit the special link in the description below for a great deal from audible.com, where you can get your first month free and your first book download free just for trying it out. That's it for now, and again, thanks for watching. Whatever you do, folks, stay informed, get involved, and pay attention to this important presidential election. Your country needs you, my friends. We'll see you next time right here on Decision 2016 Digest.